Classes begin, so I'm basically just trying to organize everything that I can today. I usually try to do this like the weekend before classes start, but it's just been so busy with moving in, and then my friend showed me around campus yesterday, which was really nice. So I'm glad I took the time to actually do things for me instead of just going straight into school. But today I actually have to start doing my work and doing my readings and figuring all that stuff out. So yesterday and the day before when my mom was staying with me, I did a couple of little things, mostly organizational things. So I did like schedules, study schedules, and then I also wrote some assignments and classes in my notebook. So I'll just show you kind of what I did with that. Okay, so the first thing that I always like to do is do a semester class and study schedule. So it's kind of like a rough draft of how I want to spend my days, and it looks a little bit different from my undergrad because I'm really trying to focus on both getting my sleep schedule fixed and also spending more time just for myself. So in the green, I just put my classes. I have 3 classes a week. They're all 3 hours, and I try to consider like walking time. So they take up probably around 4 hours. I also am trying to treat it more so like a 9 to 5. So besides the day that I have my night class, mostly every night from 5 to 9 I have self-care time, and then after that I'm hoping to get to bed. And then morning routines I'm trying to do around 8. Today I woke up a little bit later than that, but hopefully once classes begin and I kind of get more into the groove, I'll start doing that. And then basically each day has a required time slot for working on my readings and my lecture notes for that class. So usually the day that I have the class, so for this one I have 8:90, and then I put my weekly readings and lecture notes for that class. Same for this class, and then this one as well. Any days that I don't have class, I've basically just put continued work for those assignments. And then on Friday, my goal is to work on my thesis. And then Saturday is any additional time for getting like assignments done. Even if I don't have an assignment, if I can do it ahead of time, that'll save me a lot of stress during the year. So this is basically a rough draft of how I want to spend my week. I don't want to be too strict on myself, but hopefully I can stick to it. And then as always, I like to have a whiteboard with all my classes, and then I just put the work for the week. So I've got my first class, my second, and my third, and then I've got thesis/other. So that's just like administrative things I need to do, or my thesis once I start to work on that. So my only course so far that's been posted as of last night was the first one there. So I have to do the chapter 1 reading today, and then I also have to explore text related to an area of interest. And then I also find it really important to just have a general assignments list. So once my printer starts working, I'll print this out and put it at my desk, but I just go by month, and then by date I have all of my assignments that I need to complete, and then usually on my laptop once they're done I'll put it in red, and it keeps track of everything that I've done. It's also really nice when you get to the end of the semester and everything's red. It just makes you feel really accomplished. So like I said, only the one course has been posted so far, but this will probably be pretty full by the end of the week. And then I've also just went in and put my classes for the week on every single page up until December. So when I was on my gap year and I was working, my store had this productivity planner, and I got it for when I was applying to grad school to kind of keep me accountable and schedule out my time, and it was amazing. I really recommend this. Even if you don't struggle with productivity, like I didn't think that I struggled with that before, it just keeps you accountable and also in a healthy way. So like it only gives you, 2.5 hours to do a task. If not, then you take a break and then you start again. It also puts them in order of most important to second important, third important, then anything you don't get done. And basically what it says here is that if that was the only thing you did today, you'd be happy. So it makes you put the most high priority thing first and stick to that, which is something that I definitely struggled with. But I filled it out for the week. So basically my goals are to update all my assignments in Word. I have to do that once the rest of my syllabus has come out, so hopefully by the end of the week. I have to do the week 1 readings for the course that's been posted, and then week 1 and 2 readings for the other courses, just because the one that's already been posted starts next week because today's the holiday and it's a Monday class. And then I also want to start on my thesis. I forgot to mention, with this course that was posted yesterday, there was a bit of a hiccup with it. So when I went to my online website that has all my courses, I was trying to get used to it because I used a different one at my undergrad, and there was a syllabus posted for that class and it said September 5th, which is today, to have the first class. And I was freaking out because I assumed that there wouldn't be class, and I scheduled this whole day to prep and everything. And my parents were here and they both said that they thought it was a mistake because they didn't think that they could schedule classes on Labor Day. So I looked up the calendar and it said there was no classes on Labor Day, but I also didn't want to be the person who doesn't show up to the first class. So I emailed the professor and figured out that there was no classes. I guess they posted the syllabus from last year, and then with that, the textbook that I got was the one from last year, and the professor changed the textbook, and it's an online textbook. So I emailed the people letting them know that I made a mistake and hopefully they can refund it because it's only been a day. But now I have to go and spend another $60 on the textbook when I just spent $50 on that one. So that's a little bit of a stressful situation, but hopefully it'll be fine and they'll just let me return it. If not, it's a book that I can read that will help me with my thesis because it's all about research. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they return it, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so one thing that I forgot to mention is whenever I study, I try to do it in blocks of 4. So what I'll do is I'll study for 25 minutes, no distractions, won't go on my phone or anything. And then once that's up, I have 5 minutes to just kind of take a break. I try not to go on my phone on these breaks because then I'll probably just go on my phone for the rest of the hour. So it usually includes getting a tea or just walking around. I started doing this in my 4th year. So I've been doing it for a year of school, and then I did it when I was doing my grad school applications, and it really, really helps. And then after those 4 sessions, if I still have work to do, I will take an hour break, which I think I'm gonna have to do with this reading because I'm only on page 7 out of 50. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm probably just gonna make some tea, take a little 5-minute break, and then get back to it. I've just now finished half of the reading, and it took me 2 hours, which is a lot longer than it normally did in my undergrad. I think I just have to get used to summarizing again and picking out the key points because I'm only halfway done, and 2 hours is way too long to do for half of a reading. The thing is too, it was an introduction, and because I'm coming from sociology in my undergrad and doing a thesis-based master's in education, this was basically things that I already knew, but I think that might be why it was slower, because I felt like I needed to write down everything rather than when I'm normally doing it. I write down more so things that I don't know or things that I have questions about. But I don't know, I'm glad that it's things that I know, but hopefully I can kind of get back to spending an hour or 2 hours on a reading rather than what's probably going to end up being 3 or 4 hours. But it's 12 o'clock now, so I need to take a lunch break. I've scheduled basically an hour for lunch each day in between that 9 to 5 that I want to study, to both eat and just relax for a bit. I could tell even my eyes were starting to get blurry looking at the page for too long, so I'm very excited to take a little bit of a break. I finally finished the reading. The last part of it was reading 2 research papers, so that was really interesting because it was the first research papers that I've read for education, besides a couple that I did in a course in undergrad. But it's so nice to finally read about something that I'm passionate about and I can relate to because I volunteered in schools. But I'm finally done. One thing that I didn't show about the productivity planner is it follows that same 30-minute blocks that I do. So I spent about 6 blocks on this, so 3 hours in total. My goal was 4, so I went a little bit above, but I got it done. But those are good to kind of plan how long things will take, so I know for next week to plan more time to do that reading. But now what the professor wants me to do is look at papers that kind of center around the thesis idea that I want to do, and I'm not even sure what I really want to do yet, but I have a couple ideas. So I think first I have to kind of familiarize myself with the library's websites because it'll be a whole new system. But I'm gonna do that. I'm probably gonna take a little break in half an hour because I'm feeling a little bit burnt out, but I think I can do a couple more tasks today. So hopefully I can do that. And then I also want to look into some of my courses, so hopefully they'll be posted soon. If not, I'll probably just look at past assignments from those courses because that's up. I took a 15-minute break, but it's that time of the day. If you can tell that I clearly need coffee, so let's go make my coffee. Okay, so I have my coffee. One thing that I found out that was really cool is that on the website where you have all of the articles that you can look at, you can actually see projects that people have done for their masters. So either like a research project or a thesis. And I think that's what the professor wanted us to do. Is she wants us to find either thesis or project-based research papers from the Department of Education and use those to kind of look at areas of our interest and see how they went about it, which is great because not only am I doing it for a class assignment, it's also something that I should be doing on my own. So I think this class is going to be really helpful in just like preparing me to write my thesis, because to be honest, it's one thing where it's like, I've never done this before. I have no idea what to do, but my anxiety is like going all the way down because I really think this whole course is going to help me out so much. So the couple of essays or research projects that I'm reading is one on mental health and education, and then one on kind of labeling at-risk youths and how that has an effect on how they look at education. So two things that I'm super interested in. So I'm actually very excited to do my work. I didn't realize how quickly I finished the vlog and I forgot to do a proper ending, but I basically just finished the work that I was starting. I didn't end up looking into my other courses because they haven't been posted yet, so I'm just gonna wait until the professor posts the syllabus and the assignments to work on those. I ended up just going on a really nice walk with my friend and then spent the night cooking dinner and watching House of the Dragon, which is really good. And it's like 9:30 now and I'm gonna go to bed and then wake up tomorrow and basically do the same thing.